Madeleine L'Engle. 100 quotes in English. The great thing about getting older is that you don't lose all the other ages you've been. A book, too, can be a star, a living fire to lighten the darkness, leading out into the expanding universe. We can't take any credit for our talents. It's how we use them that counts. You have to write the book that wants to be written. Believing takes practice. Hate hurts the hater more than the hated. Inspiration usually comes during work rather than before it. The world has been abnormal for so long that we've forgotten what it's like to be normal. Stories make us more alive, more human, more courageous, more loving. The only way to cope with something deadly serious is to try to treat it a little lightly. Maybe you have to know the darkness before you can appreciate the light. The unending paradox is that we do learn through pain. What I believe is so magnificent, so glorious that it is beyond finite comprehension. You are who you are, and there is nobody like you. Life is not easy, but simplicity is the key to peace. To be alive is to be vulnerable. We can't be creative if we refuse to be confused. Creativity is born out of confusion and chaos. If we aren't capable of being hurt, we aren't capable of feeling joy. Art is communication, and if there is no communication, it is as though the work had been stillborn. Love isn't how you feel, it's what you do. We live under the illusion that if we can somehow manage to be good enough, we will be loved. We do not draw people to Christ by loudly discrediting what they believe. Growth means change, and change involves risk. The moment you are aware of a should, you are breaking free. When we were children, we used to think that when we were grown up, we would no longer be vulnerable. But to grow up is to accept vulnerability. To take away the creative freedom is to impose on the soul. We are all strangers in a strange land, longing for home, but not quite knowing what or where home is. The best way to last through time is to touch the eternal. A life lived in chaos is an impossibility for the writer. Faith is what makes life bearable, with all its tragedies and ambiguities and sudden startling joys. Only by being willing to suffer the loss of what we hold dear can we walk freely. Comparisons are odious because they presume all people and circumstances are the same. The discipline of creation, be it to paint, compose, write, is an effort towards wholeness. We do not know what will happen next, and that is a gift. A good laugh heals a lot of hurts. There is no denying the complexity of life, nor the simplicity of love. Sometimes when we are generous in small, barely detectable ways, it can change someone else's life forever. Time doesn't stop, it simply rearranges. A self is always becoming. Intuition is not contrary to reason but outside the province of reason. If it's not good, it's not the end. The older I get, the more I'm aware of the mystery of it all. Sometimes you have to step into the darkness to see the light. Humility is throwing oneself into the wonder of creation. We can be hindering God's will in our lives because we are afraid of change. The act of creation is a partnership with the divine. Light does not understand darkness, but it can overcome it. To write is to listen with the inner ear. The great thing about creative expression is that it's endless. Courage is not the absence of fear, but accepting the fear and doing it anyway. Creativity comes from trust. Trust your instincts and never hope more than you work. We are all more blind to what we have than to what we have not. We can't take any credit for our talents. It's how we use them that counts. The things that make us feel alive are often the things that terrify us the most. Love can overcome all obstacles, and if it is true love, it will triumph. The universe is a vast miracle, and we are part of that miracle. Life is a series of changes. It's not static, and neither are we. To grow up is to accept responsibility for who we are. We draw people to Christ not by loudly discrediting what they believe, but by showing love. Time is only a part of life, it doesn't define it. A good book leaves you asking questions. The best books leave you questioning yourself. We are human because we can make music and art and write poems. Every life has its own story, and that story is part of a greater narrative. We can't separate our life from our imagination. Forgiveness is an act of courage. The heart has its own knowledge, and it takes courage to listen to it. To love someone deeply gives you strength, and to be loved deeply gives you courage. Hope is the companion of faith. Writing is an affirmation of life, not an escape from it. The truth is that the world is full of paradoxes, and it is in these paradoxes that we grow. In the end, we learn not by being taught, but by being alive. We must learn to embrace mystery, for it is where creativity thrives. The universe is expanding, and so is love. Children see the world with fresh eyes. We should all try to do the same. Faith is a journey, not a destination. Every story is a journey in search of truth. It takes courage to live the questions, not just look for the answers. Life is full of contradictions, and that's where its beauty lies. The more you love, the less you fear. Art is a reflection of what it means to be human. Sometimes the only way to find the light is to embrace the darkness. We are made in the image of a creator, and so we are creators ourselves. Love doesn't diminish, it multiplies. Stories help us make sense of a senseless world. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving forward in spite of it. To be human is to long for something greater than ourselves. A child's imagination is limitless. We should strive to keep ours alive. Kindness is never wasted. It always leaves a mark. The best books are the ones that change you. In art, as in life, it's the imperfections that make things beautiful. When you lose yourself in love, you find yourself. We are each a small part of the universe, yet we contain the whole universe within us. Art challenges us to see the world differently. Every day is a new opportunity to create something meaningful. The world needs dreamers and doers alike. Grace is given freely, but it is up to us to accept it. Through pain, we find growth. There's always hope, even in the darkest moments. Joy is not in things, it is in us. Love is the thread that connects us all. Please subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching.